I swear to tell the truth.
Okay.
And nothing but the truth.
Let's go, Lock.
So help me God.
Okay. Uh-oh.
America is slowly dying. Live a self-inflicted wound from a weapon that we're supplying.
What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. I go by the name Black Pegasus.
And it's your boy, Don. Want to be back in the house once again.
Oh, yeah, man. So, you guys, so today we record on like certain days and do a bunch of content in one day. And we're on this America theme because we just did a reaction to Try That in a Small Town. But then someone requested the song America by Rammstein. And I was like, man, this is the perfect time to go over Locksmith's America joint because you had originally was like, yo, we should react to this. I didn't sleep on it, but recently I was reawakened because I saw an Instagram clip. And I was like, yo, he always goes crazy. All this America stuff is going on today. Let's do it.
The triple threat.
Here we go, you guys. We're about to go in and react to Locksmith. The song is titled America. So let's get it started. Before we start, don't forget to like, share, and comment on all the content. But if you really rock with the vibe, subscribe to the channel.
40-year-old boys are back in town. 40. Boys are back in town. 40-year-old boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. Malt liquor for your ears.
40.
All right, let me get this logo down, pull the video up. Don't forget, I am a hip-hop artist, so I have original content on the channel, music videos, freestyles off the top of the brain, but also some big interviews. We got a really dope interview with Tech9, an interview with Ren. So check the channel out for the original content, the same way you do these reactions. Also, don't sleep. You see that logo over there, that 40? We got new merch. We have hats. We have shirts. You can get this shirt, and it just represents the 40-year-old FUQ Boys. No alcohol, you guys. None of that. But, hey, we got some dope merch, the old E brand, all that stuff. So I'll put it in the description and in the comments. And rock with us, man. Support us. And here we go. We're going to check out Locksmith, America. That beat
I
already
swear to
sounds
tell the
crazy.
truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me God.
America is slowly dying. Live a self-inflicted wound from a weapon that we're supplying. The past seeds of hatred that race in our bloodstream. We can't agree to disagree on the most basic of things. What's a man? What's a woman? What's the shape of the earth? When does human life begin? At conception or during birth?
Conception. Sorry. Go back. My bad. Conception. I'm trying to pass the test as he goes.
We can't agree to disagree on the most basic of things. What's a man? What's a woman? What's the shape of the earth? When does human life begin? At conception or during birth? Meanwhile, the projects is more violent and the Democratic Party stays silent. That's poverty pimping. That's when politics are poverty driven and they pander to poor communities to get moral impunity. Capitalism is a black man's hell, but Marxism comes from Europe as well. It's not African, so pick a side to collect from. We run away from one slave
Bro, this song is so damn hard.
Oh my God. Yo, what's crazy is this is the clip, part of the clip, and I stopped it on Instagram, but then I started looking at the comments and I looked at them on Facebook, and all these brothers and sisters, people who look like me, are all upset. And instead of taking in the information for the truth, they start going at the Republican Party, and they're both in on it, and they're just not. It's like, bro, listen to what he's saying. It's just so deep.
This is why I wanted to react to this song, because this is where I stopped it too. I stopped it right here, and I was like, oh, I can't listen to any more, because right here up to this point is a banger. And that's what kills me, is that you have people that are like, oh, we need to tear down this white supremacist system and replace it with Marxism, another white ideology that was created by some rich white dude. He was literally, that.
He just wanted handouts.
But he came from like a rich family. Like, he never really worked.
Karl Marx you're talking about?
Yeah. He had people giving him money.
I don't know his exact MO, but I've seen
life.
some I saw a battle between a Marxist and a capitalist, and the takes were very interesting. And I was just like, wow.
But even what he was saying about like the Democratic Party, poverty pimping, It's like, look, all these years you've had these Democratic mayors and presidents and all this stuff, but go look at Chicago and tell me that that city is looking better.
Go look at
San
Denver.
Francisco and tell me that the city is looking better than under new Democratic super liberal policies. Look at New York. Is New York doing better?
Look at our hood. Look at Denver.
Yes.
It's crazy, bro.
And look, it's about the conversation, because to me, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, the solution is, vote in more Republicans. No, what he's doing is hitting it from both angles. And that's why I really appreciate this song, because it's like, look at the bull from both sides.
I've heard other songs where he hits it from a different angle. From right now, I don't feel like I've heard him hit it from both angles totally, but that Marxism and capitalist bar, the way he put that together, that's from both angles.
Yes.
And I think I might have a different version of what I think capitalism might be in regards to what he's saying. I personally don't think it's necessarily a black man's hell, but I need more context to why he would say that. But I rock with Locke. He's cool, man. We're actually peoples. Like, I see, he's like, what's up, black? Like, we're cool. And that's a conversation I could have with him. Like, yo, explain this to me. Because, there's always stuff you can learn, and I'm not above that. So, yeah, this is dope, man. He's killing.
Capitalism is a black man's hell, but Marxism comes from Europe as well. It's not African, so pick a side to collect from. We run away from one slave master into the arms of the next one. And every 2 to 4 years they pump fear, and we auction off our vote in exchange for some false hope. Listen, it's that blatant. Enslave us through taxation. Send money to Ukraine and you paying at the gas station. Cause this administration had planned.
I just got goosebumps.
For the inflation, natural gas is the actual task. Check the pipeline. Now they want to fight crime. We tools in the plot. They wasn't talking gun reform back when Boo Boo got shot. Drug addiction was not a disease when Nunu had rocks. Now they change and readjust words, cause meth is in the suburbs. In the 90s, Biden locked up our people for coke. Now he's using taxpayer dollars to buy pipes so niggas can smoke. You don't see the contradiction, or you too busy double tap dancing to pay attention. This is legislative lynching, economic Jim Crow. They feed us violence and spirits to keep us spiritually poor. Is this conspiracy? No, far beyond the music. That crime bill defines still how juveniles are prosecuted. We prostitute ourselves for the wealthiest.
Holy dude,
Dude, he's going so damn hard.
The hair are standing up on my arms because everything he's saying it's so freaking. I can't even believe he's saying it like this. Like it's picture perfect.
What is so crazy about this song, right, is we saw it. And the whole last election, you see all these rappers coming forward. Oh, Cardi B, you got to vote for Biden. Oh, spreading all this fear that if they didn't, jump on this side of the aisle, that everybody was going to lose all their rights and that, racism was going to come flooding back. But the reality is think about what he's saying in this line, right? You have good old President Biden that was pushing those drug laws in the 90s to lock up black people for having a gram of crack. But meanwhile, he put the song out before they found cocaine in the White House. And where do you think that came from? Now, when it's his son, all of a sudden we need to have compassion for the people that are doing drugs. Meanwhile, his son's out there with videotapes doing 170 on the highway smoking crack.
The craziest bar too is like they didn't care about gun reform when Pookie got hit, but when it goes into the burbs and you have like the Columbines and I don't want to get into the verbiage of it. One, I don't want to highlight the people who did those heinous acts. Two, the YouTube has buzzwords and they act weird when you have these conversations on YouTube. So yeah, like he's hitting it dead on. It's just so incredibly wild. Like I'm just like, yo, he's actually kind of going absolute insane mania on this joint, bro. And he's just sitting there like the way he's rapping it. The Uncle Sam is just like, yo. And you know what's funny about this? The ironic nonsense is like Cats is in the hood pushing that work, whether it be the lady, the white lady, y'all know what I'm talking about, or now it's like the pill form or the they sip it out of styrofoam cups. It's being used and pushed in the hood, right? But then when the brother man with the white coat says, "Oh, it's okay, man. You need a little lift. Let me give you a little. Let me give you a dosage of it. It's okay." We've had this conversation is so old. We all know it, but he's putting it in the perfect play-by-play for you. It's hypocritical. It's ignorant. And let's keep it real. Addiction is tearing apart the Western world, not just America. The addiction to these things, I shouldn't have to explain it out for you. And YouTube's weird, but these are things that are very addictive that a lot of people are on in these societies are literally tearing apart the Western world. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, the thing that's just coming through with this is that he's like, they're using fear, you know, every 4 years to get you to vote for somebody who doesn't make a difference. And he's sitting here saying they're using taxation to enslave us and then sending the money to Ukraine. It's like, what is really happening?
Yo, and this is what's crazy too, is he said Jim Crow. And I know he might not agree with this, so these are not the views of Locksmith. But Jab Crow. Remember when we went through that in 2020? Hey, okay, let's go. It's true, y'all.
Our people for coke. Now he's using taxpayer dollars to buy pipes so niggas can smoke. You don't see the contradiction, or you too busy double tap dancing to pay attention? This is legislative lynching, economic Jim Crow. They feed us violence and spirits to keep us spiritually poor. Is this conspiracy? No, far beyond the music. That crime bill defines still how juveniles are prosecuted. We prostitute ourselves for the wealthy, it's not healthy. Fly across country for protests just to get a selfie. Meanwhile, the news outlets exploited and traditional black values get voided. It happens considerably. Attack the fam, crack the validity. Keep the fathers unemployed, destroy black masculinity. Keep the mothers out the house, let the boys run willingly. Then let the streets raise them and haze them to be brazen. It's basically by design. We reside in public housing. Throw us a couple.
All right, I got to touch on this, man. He said take black values and black traditional values out of the household. That's what he's saying. And black masculinity. I'm literally got to say this like this, you guys. You cannot even talk about this on YouTube. It is so crazy, the agenda. But I just want to bring it back. And when he talks about traditional values in the black family, you know, just having a household and having masculine black men, there's something there. And even I just saw, I don't know if I told you, but Stevie Knight got demonetized on YouTube, and he tackles a lot of these issues. It's not by design. This is so crazy, and it's really messed up that corporations are utilizing your livelihood on these channels when you start making money to censor you, or I have to tap dance around the subject matter because I could go deep on that. That is a very deep bar, and I just wanted to tackle it from being a dude in the community, seeing these things in real time.
Keep the mothers out the house, let the boys run willingly. Then let the streets raise them and haze them to be brazen. It's basically by design. We reside in public housing. Throw us a couple crumbs and we succumb to those surroundings. Perpetuated by educators and pastors. Stockholm syndrome, we fell in love with our own captors. Mass shooters get captured and taken into custody. If black assailants make detainment, truly it's a luxury. Enough to see that there's a power imbalance. Cowards accept the malice and challenge it ever was valid. Adjust your palate. They say nothing is insurmountable, cause everybody's sensitive and nobody's accountable. Everybody senses it cause nobody's infallible. Never let it disparage you. Welcome to America.
Damn.
I think the hardest bar, though, is never let it disparage you.
Yeah.
Because this is like, it's weird because...
I mean, the Stockholm Syndrome bar, you know what that is? You're familiar with that concept?
Where you fall in love with your master and the captors. And that's where people... It's weird because I walk this balance where sometimes I'm like, yo, did I sell out for saying I love this land? It gave me opportunity. And like, I've been super blessed because of where I've come from to work my way out of situations. And so have a lot of people. But then I'm like, is that Stockholm Syndrome saying I love that system?
Are you successful and happy to a degree that is beyond what most people on this planet have ever experienced?
I would say so. Absolutely.
This is what I'm saying. So how is that Stockholm Syndrome for acknowledging the fact that you are one of the few humans
1% of the world
ever that doesn't have to worry about starving, that doesn't have to worry about providing for your family? I mean, not that you don't worry about that, but truly worry.
It's interesting because what he's saying is facts. I agree with 90 to 95% of everything he said. But then I struggle because it's like, you know, that monologue or that stand-up Chris Rock did where he's like, if you black in America, you know what I'm saying? It's like that uncle that I don't know the word I can say without getting flagged, but he's like that mistreated you. Yeah. He's like, he was like the best uncle, but he still did that thing. And you're just like, oh, that's kind of an interesting analogy, the way he put it. But, you know, also these later generations were not affected the same way, like, let's say, the 40s, the 60s, you know what I'm saying? But there are still certain things that we get affected by that are that ripple down. But then I also go to, like, I know balance and life isn't perfect. So it's like trying to balance all these thoughts in my head because, you know, I haven't gained anything by taking certain stances, right? Like I always tell you this, I had to eliminate chinks in my armor by getting rid of these emotional triggers that used to like set me off or put my mind in a certain place when I was young. And to become successful, I had to eliminate all that and really go hard in the plan.
But look at people that are successful in general, right? So at the very end, one of the hardest lines to me is he said that you've got people that are too sensitive and no accountability.
Facts.
And that's exactly what he's saying, right? You're too sensitive. You're letting all this stuff get to you. You're creating this story and you're not taking any accountability. So between those two things of allowing these things to affect you, and this is anything, I'm not talking about, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? Black and white relations or anything. I'm going to just speak on my own personal life and say that certain things that happened to me, right? I had a sensitivity about that I didn't deal with and wasn't taking accountability for my own role and why my life wasn't working. The minute that I start to change that relationship between some of the things that happened to me, you know, and change the story and then take accountability for my own actions, my life gets better. Amazing. And you look at anybody that's like successful, almost every person that's successful has a hardship story. They have a story of coming from a certain place or going against the wall or failing and wanting to give up and then having an opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to give in to those voices that tell me I'm not good enough or that, you know, my mom abused me or that my dad was an alcoholic, all these things, and just let that story dominate my life. Or I can take accountability for my own life and say, regardless of these certain circumstances, I'm going to create my own path and I'm not going to let that hold me back.
Yeah, I think a key there is accountability. And I want to give Locksmith an extra shout out for doing this track because when you listen to it, it does feel like he's taking more of a shot at the Democratic Party. But I want to highlight this because I know from what I've seen, I honestly think he's probably more left leaning. So to be critical of a side, and my thing is maybe he's not. He could be more. He might be down. Actually, I'm going to take that back because I don't know where he leans. He calls a spade because I've seen him call out Trump. I've seen him call out the Republican Party, and in this one, he leaned more and criticized the Democratic Party. And I just think it's valiant that he's having real conversations because most people who are on the left-hand side would not criticize their side because of the backlash. And I think this is that real hip hop where he's calling out the government. It's not I think the average person might be like, yo, he's calling out the left-hand side.
Well, he says something about it where he's like, are you going to like acknowledge this or are you just going to tap dance?
Yes. And,
you know what I mean?
And he's just calling out governmental factions. And right now, this is the current administration. When the other administration's in, he calls it in as well. I just wanted to highlight that because I don't want people to, if they watch this reaction, just think like he's like a MAGA rapper or something. You know what I'm saying? Not that he portrayed that, but you know what I mean.
But that's just so weird that that you actually have to say that because
read the comments on these clips, bro.
You know, I know. I'm just saying that it doesn't invalidate anything that he's saying, regardless.
Yeah,
it's just like that. That's what drives me crazy is that people would get mad that like, oh, how dare you criticize because Trump was worse. It's like, it has nothing to do with that. It's like, can you not call out the facts of the situation and be like, oh, okay, with all these, you know, government policies put forth by Democrats, is it getting any better for people in some of these communities?
And the same goes for the Republican policies that work against certain factions as well. But I wanted to highlight that because I noticed some people are trying to like, because he has a very big black fan base and he's a lyricist, one of the greats of our time. And I felt like people were trying to kind of dogpile like, bro, like instead of listening to the truth, you know, there's a lot of this, but the Republicans are worse. The Republicans are worse. And it's like, bro, it's the same. What is it? Two wings on the same bird.
Yeah. And that's what I took away from this song is that he's basically like just calling it out and saying like, look, it's not getting him any better regardless. Yep. And that is what the real problem is that when we're sitting here bickering about red or blue, we all getting fucked.
This is facts. Shout out to Locksmith. This was a dope track. I really enjoyed it. Wasn't sure where he was going to go totally. I like that, man. That's dope. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, and comment on all of the content. Subscribe. Check out the merchandise. The link will be in the comments in the description.
Merch.
40.
Get some merch. Yeah,
Thank
tough
you
guy.
for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. FUQ boys. 40.